Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this very special live stream. This is our Money in the Bank predictions video. Very excited to be doing this and going through all of these matches. So we are going to literally go through every match. I know this is live at the time of doing this, but I'm actually going to jump into and talk to the chat once we've gone through all of the matches. I really want to give all my thoughts on this because there's a lot to go through and there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of excitement for this show. This show is going to be part live, part pre-recorded. The pre-recorded part is going to be the Money in the Bank ladder matches. They were recorded a couple of weeks ago. So we know that they're pre-recorded. The rest of the matches we believe are coming from the Performance Center. So we don't think any of the other matches are going to come from the WWE Headquarters. This is quite interesting news because, of course, the hacker, the SmackDown hacker, has made it known that they are going to be at the Performance Center. They're going to make their presence felt. Now, we don't know if they're going to do a reveal. We don't know if we're actually now going to find out who they are, or if it's going to be a case that they're actually going to give us another target. They're going to expose some more truth. The truth will be heard. So it's hard to know what the SmackDown hacker is actually going to be doing at Money in the Bank, but we do know they're going to be there. They sent a video out the other day. The coordinates were for the Performance Center. The date, the number that they typed in, the password they typed in was the date of Money in the Bank. So big clues given that they will be making their presence felt. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through all of the matches. We are going to talk more about the hacker. I think there's a few matches here that are quite easy to predict, to be honest. I think there's a few matches that are very straightforward. There's also a couple of matches that are impossible to predict, like literally toss a coin, because I can see an argument for several people winning those Money in the Bank ladder matches. So this is going to be tricky, but I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to explain why I've gone with who I've gone with, and we're literally going to take it from there. So the first match that we're going to talk about is the tag team match. This is the New Day defending their tag titles against Miz and Morrison, and also the Forgotten Sons, and also Lucha House Party. So they're going to be defending against all of those teams. Now, I think this is going to be fairly straightforward. I think the New Day are going to retain. I don't know why you would put the belts on them and then take them off of the New Day again so soon. I really hate it when they're hot potato in the titles around, just passing them around constantly. So, yeah, I think the New Day should retain. This could be where the hacker makes their presence felt. I know a lot of people are hoping, myself included, that the New Day split at some point. I know there's people out there that don't want it as well, but I don't know what else there is for them to achieve. Plus, the New Day can continue with Xavier and Kofi. I really do want that Big E singles run. So I would love for that to be what happens. I think now would be, a fine time. I do feel, though, that it would work better if there was a crowd, because I think if the New Day split, or when the New Day split, 'cause I'm sure it will happen at some point, then I really do think that maybe in front of a crowd to kind of get that added drama. So just for that reason, just for the reason that there's not going to be a crowd, I'm not going to say the New Day split up, and I'm not going to say that the hacker exposes that truth, right? I think it could happen. I think that it could be on the way. It might be the ultimate story. It could be what the hacker is building towards. We do think that one of those voices is Xavier Woods, which is very interesting. Xavier Woods being a part of that, wanting to expose the truth, does really add fuel to the fire that the New Day could be splitting. But I don't think it's going to happen here because of, as we said, the lack of a crowd. I do think Miz and Morrison could split. I think Miz and Morrison have kind of done all they need to do. They've already had like a title reign. I think Morrison out on his own would be awesome. Miz works perfectly fine on his own. I think they've been a tag team for a little while. So yeah, I really think that could be what we see the Hacker getting involved with is Miz and Morrison. Forgotten Sons, Lucha House Party, they're literally just there to go along with the flow. So I don't see either of those teams winning. I really think New Day retain. As I said, I don't want that title being hot potatoed around. So I'm going to say New Day retain, but keep an eye out because that could be where the Hacker reveals some truth. Next match is a match that hasn't actually been booked, but wouldn't surprise me if it did get booked. Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. That's why I've put question marks at the end of it, because I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, this has had some build. So, Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. I'm going to say if this happens, Jeff Hardy wins. Again, the Hacker could get involved here. The Hacker has sent a tweet out talking about redemption. And redemption was one of the themes about Jeff Hardy's return. We actually saw one of those chapters, one of those video packages was called Redemption. So it's quite interesting. The Hacker is talking about redemption. Jeff Hardy is all about redemption. And Jeff Hardy is returning this Friday. Could be at Money in the Bank. So again, maybe there's some Jeff Hardy truth that could be exposed. It's hard to know. It's hard to know what the Hacker's going to do. I felt quite confident about Jeff Hardy, but as we said, as of right now, it's not a match that's been booked. But we need to see, if it gets made on Friday. I can't quite figure out how Michael Cole is involved in this as well. It just seems to be whenever Michael Cole is talking about Jeff Hardy, that it winds Sheamus up so much that he just can't cope. Yeah, we'll have to see how Michael Cole is involved. Will Michael Cole get attacked? I don't know. But I think if that match does happen, Jeff Hardy would emerge victorious. Right, moving on. We're getting on to the championship matches now. We're getting to the good stuff. So, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. I think this is quite straightforward. I think Drew McIntyre retains. They only put the title on him at WrestleMania. I don't see why they would take the title off him now. I do think that it's a bit of a concern that Raw ratings are so bad, what with Drew being the champion. It's not reflecting very well on him. Now, I know it's not his fault. I know there's a pandemic. I know that people don't like wrestling without a crowd. But the problem is, he is the man that's carrying that burden. He is the man that is carrying the main title. He is the man that the locker room is looking at to improve those ratings. That's how it always was, that's what the pressure is when you are the guy. That's what the pressure is when you've got all of that weight on your shoulders. And actually, that has played a part in this story. Seth has been talking about taking some of that weight off of Drew's shoulders. Seth has been saying, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than me. And I do think it's been quite an interesting story. I think some of the promos on this have been excellent. I don't think they're taking the title off him yet. I just really hope this is a great match. And it could be that we see further matches between these two further down the road. So I don't want a Drew squash. I wouldn't be putting the title on Seth. I think Drew's fine. I think he's done all right. But I just really want a great match here. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I think this is one of the easier ones to call. And that is that Drew McIntyre retains. Next match, Bayley versus Tamina. Now, easy to call again. Bayley retains. We're building towards Bayley versus Sasha Banks. But we did say this the other day on the watch along. It would be wiser if you put the title on Tamina. Now, that might sound crazy, but if you put the title on Tamina, right, that means that you've built someone up, a someone dominant. You know, she's beaten Bayley in a match. Now she's the champ. She's got the title. Okay? So it elevates Tamina. Is she the most exciting? No. But, like, you've built a star. She's got the belt. You know, let's see what she can do with it. And then you've got Bayley, who's a star anyway, who can go into a feud with Sasha Banks. So what you've done there is you've made something of Tamina. Bayley's going to be fine anyway. And so Sasha, they don't need the belt. They're both big stars, big names, known around the world. Loads of merch. You know, the faces of the women's division, certainly on SmackDown. So, as I said, they don't necessarily need the belt. I don't think it goes that way. I think Bayley will retain. I think she will go forward and eventually have that feud against Sasha Banks. And I can see the title being involved in that, and that's absolutely fine. I've got no problems with that. But as I said, there is an opportunity here to, you know, continue the work they started with Tamina. They tried to build Tamina up for WrestleMania. You know, you might remember everyone being really scared of her, backing away, like edging out of the ring. They were that scared of Tamina. And so they could continue that work. Again, don't think they will. Think they'll keep the title on Bayley. Haven't got an issue, to be honest, which way it goes. I do think Bayley's heel turn has been a success. I would say it's been a success. I really thought she was like the most face person ever. I never thought they would turn her heel. You know, she had that connection with kids. She was selling loads of merch. She had the wacky inflatable guys. Like, why would you turn your back on that? Why would you change direction? Someone like Bayley just strikes me as heel. Just not a heel, but a face for life. So, yeah, kind of crazy that they did it. But I do think it's worked. And I think continuing, you know, to give her good opponents, give her good feuds, give her, like, backstage promos, and just keep going on the direction they're going. So I do think it's been a success. Right, we're getting down to the Money in the Bank matches. We've got one more to go. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Very easy. Braun retains. I've seen a few prediction videos and a few prediction articles, and I've not seen anyone yet that thinks Bray is winning this. This isn't Fiend. It's Bray. It's Bray versus Braun. Funhouse Bray, we believe, is weaker than what the Fiend is. So I really do think that Braun Strowman's going to get the victory here. What I would love is for Braun to start letting Bray in. I really, really want Braun to join up with Bray. I really want him to go that way because I do think that Braun as a face is a bit flat. Like, Braun is a scary monster. Like, Braun is the black sheep. He came in as the black sheep of the Wyatt family. And then he's, like, you know, become cool. And great when he was flipping cars over and stuff like that. But he's not the best in the ring. He's just like a big monster. So I kind of feel like he fits so well with Bray. You know, he could really bring a very interesting, different dynamic. And I would love to see, what does Braun Strowman's darkness look like? Like, if you think that the Fiend is Bray's darkness, what does Braun's darkness look like? We saw a mask that they had made for Rowan that we never got a chance to see Rowan wear. It was really cool. Did a video on the channel. So if you go back, you'll be able to find that and actually see it. And it's awesome. And it does raise the question, what masks have they got for Braun that we haven't seen? You know, if he is going to embrace his darkness, just imagine what they could do. Just imagine what they could do with Braun. So I think that Braun retaining, again, he only won the title at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be taking the title off him. To be honest, I'd be a bit disappointed if they gave the title to Bray, because I think I would be looking at it going, well, what was that whole Goldberg thing about? What was the point in losing the title to Goldberg just to win it back a few months later? Like, that did more harm than good. So I would much rather that at least Braun gets some kind of title run out of this. Try and salvage something out of it, because what happened in Saudi Arabia was a disgrace. Really shouldn't have gone that way. And the rumors are it was backstage politics from Goldberg. Apparently Goldberg was in Vince's ear saying a few things. Don't know if that's true, but those are the rumors. Apparently he did not want to lose to The Fiend. So, I really would be keeping the title on Braun. Could be that Bray goes too far, gets DQ'd. Could be a count out. Doesn't have to be a clean Braun win. Could be a clean Braun win. And then maybe Bray goes off and gets The Fiend. Maybe Funhouse Bray realizes he doesn't have what it takes to beat Braun, but The Fiend does. And then maybe that sets up a match in the future. So, as I said, I think that's another straightforward one. I think a lot of these big title matches seem to be going the way of the champions. I'd be surprised if we get any title changes. But that brings us to Money in the Bank, right? Women's Money in the Bank and men's Money in the Bank. Now, apparently these are pre-recorded. They happened a few weeks back. They're, of course, taking place at the WWE Headquarters. They're going to start down in the lobby. They're going to work their way up, and then they're going to finish in the ring. Apparently, both matches are running at the same time, and that does pose some very interesting options. And the one option that I just cannot escape is what happens if a woman grabs the men's briefcase. Because if it's not there for a man to get, surely that's it. I mean, if someone's got it, if someone's grabbed it, then surely that's it. We're done. So I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to go that way. I'm not seeing too many people talking about it, but the fact it's running at the same time makes it a very real prospect. I can't see one of the guys grabbing the women's, but I can see one of the women grabbing one of the men's briefcases. Now, these are so hard to call. So hard to call. I've changed my mind on this so many times. When it comes to the women's Money in the Bank, I think straight up the favourite is Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler wins, okay? I think she's out and out favourite. She's not the person I want. I think Shayna Baszler with the briefcase makes sense. I think they built her up for WrestleMania. I think that she's only just started. I think giving her the briefcase, she can cash it in. She can get a bit of revenge on Becky. I totally do see Shayna Baszler winning the women's. But I haven't actually put Shayna down in my predictions, right? Even though she's favourite. Because I think Nia Jax stands an outsider's chance. And I always like to go with the outsider. So I've gone with Nia Jax. And the reason why I've gone with Nia Jax is all because of the history. Think about Nia Jax breaking Becky's nose. Think about that iconic moment. Think about Becky just before Survivor Series standing in that arena with blood pouring down her face as a result of that punch from Nia Jax. Now, to my knowledge, they haven't met in the ring in a singles match since that happened. I think there was a little face-off at the Royal Rumble, but I can't recall them having a singles match against each other. There's real history between Becky and Nia Jax. So I really feel that the winner is favourite Shayna Baszler or outsider Nia Jax. And as I said, I've gone with the outsider. And I think that makes more sense because we're surely on the verge of Ronda returning. We keep saying this. Surely she's coming back. She's been stirring up so much trouble that you would think that we're on the verge of it. Maybe we've got to wait a little bit longer for the coronavirus to settle down and the whole pandemic thing to settle down. And then maybe she's going to return then. Well, when she does, you know she's going to have Shayna by her side. So, yes, Shayna could have the briefcase, but she might have Ronda coming back anyway. And so that will keep her in the main event picture. She doesn't need the briefcase as well. Nia Jax might just need it more to stay relevant. You know, she's this big monster. She's got great history with Becky. People hate Nia Jax because she botches all the time. So there's a lot of heat on Nia Jax. So, and obviously you've got the punch. As I said, there's a real history there. So I'm going to say Shayna's favourite. Outsider is Nia. And I've gone with Nia. But don't be surprised if it's Shayna. By the way, I think they may have spoiled it by saying that Becky will confront the winner on Monday on Raw. Because I don't know why Becky would confront Lacey Evans, Carmella, or I can't even remember who the other person was that's in it. They're Dana Brooke. There you go. I can't see any of them three winning it. I think it's going to be Asuka, Shayna, or Nia. I've gone with Nia. Shayna's the favourite. Right, in regards to the men's, again, I think you've got an outside chance that it could be Asuka. Asuka has got an outside chance of grabbing the men's because I think if Nia or Shayna gets the women's, Asuka's just going to take it. Asuka's just going to take the men's. So I think I really could see Asuka grabbing the men's one if the women's one has already gone. They have said that Vince has been very, very impressed with Asuka and what Asuka has been doing. So it could be that they want to push Asuka, and it might be that they've already got plans for the women's belts. So who's to say they're not going to push her towards one of the men's? Like, could you imagine Asuka as the first woman to ever hold the WWE Championship or ever hold the Universal Champion? It'd be incredible. I wouldn't want them to go that way, to be honest. It's not the direction that I would go. But I do think that it would still be very, very interesting. A very interesting story. And out of all of the options, I wouldn't mind that too much. The one that I want is Aleister Black. I want Aleister Black to win. I think Aleister Black is a very, very interesting prospect for the men's Money in the Bank. I think they've tried a few things. Not everything has worked. I struggle to picture him carrying the briefcase around. Like, he wants a fight. He's a fighter. He's not really an opportunist. He's not someone that's going to try and find the right moment to cash in. So if Aleister wins, I think the best way to book it for his character, and this is going to upset people, is that he cashes in and names the place that he wants the match. I know people aren't going to like that, right? But Aleister Black is not the kind of person that's going to take advantage. He's not the kind of person that's going to try and find the right opportunity. He wants a fight. And if he gets that contract, I could see him cashing in and saying, give me SummerSlam. Give me the main event of SummerSlam, or give me the main event of Survivor Series, or whatever it might be. And he cashes in that way, names the place, just like Rob Van Dam against John Cena. When we watched it the other week, ECW, and that amazing crowd. So, you know, it could still be cool. I know people like those opportunist moments, the running down, grabbing a referee kind of a thing. So I do totally get it. And you still could get that with whoever wins the women's. But I can't see Aleister Black doing that. It's not his character. So, Aleister Black is the person I would like to win it. Daniel Bryan, I don't think needs it. I think Daniel Bryan is a made man. I don't think he needs the briefcase. Rey Mysterio, I think, would be a fun option. I think that he could have one more title run. But I wouldn't have him as a favourite. I can't see them giving him that one more title run, to be honest. So I'm not sure they would go that way. King Corbin, he won the belt, the briefcase before. He's already won Money in the Bank and he fluffed it. When he cashed in, he didn't win the title. So that would be a disaster. That would be awful if King Corbin got it. Otis, I don't think he's got much of a chance, to be honest. I think that him and Mandy was a great story. I think that he's in a tag team. I don't think they're looking to give him Money in the Bank or give him a run with the title. Or I mean, that's a big jump. That's a big, big jump. He is very cool. I think they can continue to build him, give him some feuds and stuff like that. Maybe he's the people's choice. I'm not sure. He's not my choice. My choice is Aleister Black. But Otis is a very interesting prospect. Then the other one, I'd say this is maybe the favorite AJ Styles. I would say AJ is the favorite. If Shayna is the favorite for the women, I would say AJ is the favorite for the men. I think that AJ just came back. He was literally buried at WrestleMania. Not just lost the match, literally buried. So I really do think that AJ could be the person that wins this Money in the Bank. But again, I'm going to go with that dark horse. I'm going to go with that slight outsider. I'm going to go with Aleister Black. So that's who I hope wins. So I'm going to go that way. So I'm going to put my predictions on screen so that you can see them. I've got them all prepared. So just a quick recap and then we can jump into the chat. So I'm going to say that New Day retain. Keep an eye out for Miz and Morrison and the Hacker getting involved. Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy isn't a match that's been made yet. If it does get made, Jeff Hardy surely wins that. He's only just come back. People would love to see him getting a good run again, so can't see how losing to Sheamus would be the right move. Drew McIntyre against Seth for the WWE Championship. I think Drew McIntyre retains. Bayley versus Tamina. I think Bayley retains. But again, it wouldn't bother me if Tamina won it. It might upset quite a few people, but as I said, Bayley's going to be all right without the belt. Tamina could really benefit from it, but I think Bayley gets it anyway. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. I'm going to say Braun Strowman, but again, I'd love it if he started to turn. I think that'd be awesome. The women's match, I've gone with Nia Jax or Shayna. I think Shayna's the favourite, but I've gone with Nia Jax. And then when it comes to the men's, Aleister Black is the person that I want to win. I think AJ might be the favourite, but I didn't put AJ down. Just got that sneaky suspicion about Asuka. I've really got that sneaky suspicion because why run the matches at the same time if you're not going to do something a little bit quirky like that? So there we go. I really do think that it's a tough one to call. I really do think that there's many different people that could win it. Rey Mysterio could get it. It could be that they do give it to Dana Brooke. Perhaps this is the start of like a Dana Brooke push. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the great thing about Money in the Bank. Plus, the matches are running at the same time. Plus, they're at the WWE headquarters. You know that we're going to be seeing inside Vince's office because they did actually make a little reference to it. Daniel Bryan asked the question, does Vince have dinosaur bones on the wall in his office? Well, Daniel's not going to say that unless you're going to find out the answer. So I'm almost certain they're going to go into Vince's office. The other thing as well is that they are talking about who's going to be thrown, or they are talking about someone being thrown off the top. Becky Lynch kind of teased that Vince had shown how it could be done safely. So Becky had teased that already. But then, of course, AJ started talking about it on Raw, about throwing Ray or Aleister Black off the top of the building. So again, because this is pre-recorded, you know that they can use some camera trickery. They can use a few different camera angles and whatever. So don't be surprised if there is something along those lines. I don't know how I would feel about it, to be honest, because I don't see how a wrestler's going to survive falling off a building. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think people would find it quite exciting. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments and in the chat. That's it for our predictions video. Obviously, we're going to stick around and have a chat with the chat. So if you are leaving us at this point, thanks for watching and hopefully see you again next time.